Good morning, everyone. Please join me in thanking our award-winning Fine Arts program for kicking off today's event in a way that speaks to the heart. I'm Julian Whitaker, and this is Lauren Garza.
Also with us are Nathaniel Menchaca and Mason Rankin. We're all members of the Superintendent's Student Ambassadors. We're here representing the students who are sitting in classrooms throughout McAllen as we demonstrate our appreciation to our business and community leaders for your support of our schools.
We are also here to recognize our Board of Trustees and our Superintendent for their achievement. Will members of our McAllen ISD Board of Trustees, including my Uncle Danny, please stand at your table. Today is particularly important as we mark January, School Board Appreciation Month, as proclaimed by the Governor of Texas. Now will you all please stand for the pledge and remain standing for a prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Please bow your heads for a prayer. We thank you for your many blessings that you have sent our way, and the reminders that we are surrounded by people who wish us well in our homes, in our schools, and through our greater community. Please give us the wisdom to see your hand in the wonderful things that surround us every day and in every way. We ask that you protect the men and women who fight in battlefields far from their homes, and that you continue to bring comfort to their loved ones as they pray for their safety. We thank you for gifting us with this heart that yearned to learn and with the capacity for forgiving bold new paths. Grant us always a zest for imagination as you guide into new, ever high levels of enlightenment. In your name we pray. Thank you. Now please make yourselves comfortable and continue with your breakfast while we recognize key leaders of our community and thank them for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Today, representing McAllen, we have the Honorable Mayor Richard Cortez. And the City of McAllen Chief of Police Victor Rodriguez. McAllen Economic Development Corporation President and CEO Keith Patridge. Representing the county are Hidalgo County Judge Ramon Garcia and Commissioner Joseph Palacios. Representing STC, we have Mrs. Wanda Garza, Interim Vice President for Student Affairs and Enrollment Management, and Dr. Juan Mejia, Vice President for Academic Affairs. Representing UTPA, we have Dr. Robert Nelson. As a student, I can tell you I appreciate that I live in a place that supports each other's successes within the greater community. Thank you for being here today.
Lauren and I were just talking, and we want to include you in our conversation. We were reflecting about the history of our community and the message that it sends to the rest of the state and country. Believe it or not, we do have intellectual conversations that aren't for a grade.
If you look back more than 100 years, McAllen was a small town with a tiny railroad stop, a small store, and a one-room schoolhouse with 20 students of all ages. You've heard that story before. The county seat was located considerably closer to the river before it got moved somehow, but we won't get into that story right now.
Our town, and now metropolitan area, grew into a bustling, vibrant community. And over the years, we have often caught the attention of people from all over the state and country. The headlines tell it all. The fastest growing metropolitan area, with population growth at triple the national average, and our housing costs are a whopping 33% below national average. In business terms, we rank 5th in the nation in small business growth. Accolades for students and teachers, state champions in academics, in athletics and fine arts, state teachers of the year. In fact, McAllen teachers have captured regional and state teacher of the year titles, 18 in the past 21 years.
Okay, let's resume our discussion. Over the past year, our headlines have continued. We hope you have all heard about TLC Cubed. Certainly, people all over the state and country have. In fact, technology news from McAllen ISD was even reported in Japan and Canada. It was made the cover of several local and even state business and education magazines. It made news on the AP Wire Network News, and it was included in an international Apple News conference some weeks ago.
Why? Because TLC Cubed is unique, and that's best illustrated in 2 ways. By placing a learning device into the hands of every single one of us, our school is 1, leveling the playing field for all students and staff, while also propelling our district forward so we can compete with universities and workplaces of the 21st century. Transforming learning in the classroom, campus, and community began changing the world for students and teachers from the very beginning, in March 2011.
From that moment, a core of teachers were brought together and asked to dream, to create a framework that can truly alter the dynamics of teaching, to decipher a way to propel students to new heights of learning. Simply put, to imagine.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in the world of my creation. What we'll see will defy explanation.
McAllen ISD students are engrossed in a world of incredibly thought-provoking, discussion-igniting learning experiences, all available at the click of a button. It's inquiry in the classroom, integrating technology, igniting higher-level thinking, and prompting students to delve deeper into issues at all levels and in all subjects. This innovative teaching and learning framework leverages powerful new technologies and merges them with student-centered, inquiry-based learning. In effect, McAllen ISD may be the largest district in the nation, working to place the latest in mobile technology into the hands of all its students and teachers. McAllen ISD is collecting narratives as experienced by students and employees. Here are just a few.
We're using iTouches.
With full concentration evident on his fresh face, first grader Brandon Espinosa watches the iPod Touch device. At the same time, he listens avidly as his friend reads a passage from a book.
We're recording our voice, and I have to time him for his fluency.
His proud explanation excites adults who are touring the classroom. They marvel at both the act and the evidence of higher-level comprehension displayed by the 6-year-olds. Salvador Villa has been blind since birth. This 7th grader at Brown Middle School lamented the fact that he could not explore the world through a computer unless his mom described items on the screen. That has all changed.
Manifest destiny. Search field.
With the McAllen ISD iPad, he uses an app to break through his physical limitations. Also, because he takes the device with him, he can see the world from school and from home.
Image, video, map.
Surface area volume.
Teachers and students expand the scope of instruction beyond class time. Teachers videotape and post lessons, and the students use their iPads to watch the lessons from home. That frees up the class period for more in-depth discussion and more lab work.
So metabolism.
Hey guys, we're back, and this is lesson 2, Everyday Science Continued. We are going to show you a couple more signs.
Sign language students produce how-to videos to help others. Students enrolled in McAllen High School's American Sign Language use iPads to create videos and then post them to a web page. Adults witness more students gathering at schools and even the public library as students become more creative about finding places to connect to the world through the use of their new learning devices. The city is working to expand its framework of Wi-Fi connections throughout McAllen. A small wooden car speeds down a high school hallway as students watch, intent on gauging the velocity and strength of impact as it slams against a far wall. This way, they measure the acceleration, angle, and speed of the object. They use the data to create a graph on an Excel spreadsheet. It's the beauty of physics and technology intertwined.
That way you can stream the question directly via your phone.
FaceTime gives McAllen students access to the White House. Students in a Rowe High School English 4 class listen carefully to a live webcast panel discussion based out of Washington, D.C. They're fully engaged. They had studied, debated, and formulated their own points of view.
We've got a question just came in online. This is from Melody Sanchez at Nicky Rowe High School in McAllen, Texas.
A question posed by a McAllen ISD student
What is being done about the DREAM Act?
prompts applause at the nation's capital and a response from a White House official. When a child's imagination is untethered by the mechanisms of the past, learning can truly be limitless. That's the transformational essence behind TLC Cube, transforming learning in the classroom, campus, and community.
Now, please help me in welcoming our superintendent, Dr. James Ponce.
It's a wonderful day. I always like having to actually show our students off. Another round for our students here, please. We have some other students this morning. This is whether you're a proud parent or a proud community member. It's always a great time to showcase our students. I want to also recognize our county judge, Ramon Garcia. I know, please stand and be recognized also. And any other elected officials that we may have missed, and thank you for coming out. Any other elected officials that we may have missed? Okay. Down here, I think in the back. Yes, back there I was trying. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming out. And we appreciate the service of all our elected officials. We know, again, a lot of times a labor of love, because most of the time your real job gets kind of convoluted and you're doing your other job. So we know how that works, especially the board members. We'll be talking about a lot of that later. It's a good to have you all out here. I know we don't get to express enough our thanks to our partners. Sometimes we see you in passing, or I see you in passing, but please know that I do know through conversations with our principals how valuable you are to their campuses. You're called upon at sometimes at the drop of a hat, and you're always there for us, and you're always there for our students. And it's greatly appreciated, because a lot of what we're going to be talking about today and a lot of what we accomplish, we know that we cannot accomplish on our own. We know that it does take partners, it does take a community, and it does take a lot of effort beyond what people usually know to make things happen for the students of our great district. Once again, good morning, everyone. The video that you saw illustrates how TLC Cubed has impacted the instructional side of our house. But in reality, TLC Cubed is all-encompassing. It also affects our business and operations. I invite you to review the brochure that we have provided for you as a report. It outlines specific real gains that our district has made in all our operations. During the past 4 years, we have seen budget cuts and other challenges thrown our way. 1.5 years ago, some districts were forced to lay off employees. We steered clear of that by taking some pretty bold measures. A number of new strategies were put into place. We have a balanced budget, a healthy fund balance, and we can provide competitive compensation packages to recruit and retain the best staff. Let me offer some background to help you put this in perspective. In May of 2009, our unassigned fund balance stood at $9.2 million. In just 3 fiscal years, however, the district has built $31.1 million increases. The result is that we now have an unassigned fund balance of nearly $40.3 million. Here's how the district was able to accomplish this. To address the state funding cuts that threatened staffing cuts last year, we established district-wide staffing ratios. We provided an early incentive program that worked with employees whose positions had been cut to place them into positions as they became available. We used federal stimulus money to pay some of our salaries. We changed the district's fiscal year, ending the date from August 31st to June 30th. This created a one-time infusion of cash to increase the fund balance. The district has also completed and approved a 5-year strategic plan, and that plan was started in February of 2010, and we're looking to constantly revisit that and kind of get more in depth with it also. Every purchase is closely scrutinized, and we have been diligent in increasing transparency and efficiency. The Business Operations Department conducts training, budget workshops for staff, for the board, to ensure that all accounting procedures as well as state and federal guidelines are followed. The number of workshops were increased from about 2 to 6 per year with our board. The budget development process has been expanded each year to provide the board and all its relevant information for their approval of the budget. The district received a first rating, that's the Financial Integrity Rating System of Texas, of Superior in 9 of its past 10 years. And that's a big part. Most of the work that you see in boards is that you don't see that there's a lot of work beyond that happens for the budget. When you start looking at it and trying to run the business, that's a real big part of that most of the time people don't really realize how much work there is. Again, I always say you see the board members twice a month, but there's a boatload of work that they do throughout the year that people don't realize. Not only are we enjoying a healthy budget, we were able to execute the TLC framework, which garnered statewide, national, and international recognition in mainstream media and even several educational industry publications. The technology investment in our students includes the infrastructure costs that we would have incurred regardless of the route we took. In fact, it's comparable to what we were spending before, but the picture is looking very different. In the past, the highest standards, which was very bold, in our classrooms, it was a desktop for the teacher, 4 for the students, an overhead, and a document reader. And at that time, that was really, really out there, and we really were looking forward to getting ourselves to that point. But we know that today, with mobile technology and the way children learn, that had to shift. To pay for the increase in infrastructure, the district has been maximizing the use of federal E-rate funds. Down the line, we also expect more potential saving in terms of textbooks and other resources that can be made electronically, and that's the big challenge now. We're in a space in education where the funding is getting cut, e-resources are becoming more prominent, and we're trying to find out how do you quickly turn that over so you don't have the old system and the new system. When you talk about that's the way we were going anyway, we were trying to let the public know that you can't start cutting out and back into the infrastructure because you're moving in that direction. What you don't want to do is turn around. And in this day and age, you don't become 1 year behind. You become exponentially behind each time that you don't take that step. So that's a lot of what we're talking about. And you see again, and I keep referring to our meetings because that's when the public usually sees us work, is that it looks like it's a lot of kind of day-to-day kind of decisions. But the real beauty of the team of 8 is that they're not only making the decisions for today, but it's setting the pace. And we talk about now 2026. That's when the current kindergartners are actually leaving our system, and that's how far out we have to be thinking about it. We also were able to apply for QSCAB dollars. And I know that's kind of a mouthful, but it's the Qualified School Construction Bonds. Because of our superior financial rating, we got the best possible interest rate. It's 0. We took that $17 million and put it into conservation measures. The energy saving measures that have led to average savings of $40,000 per month on the district's electricity bill alone. This reduced electricity consumption also comes back to us in incentive checks, totaling about $90,000 this year. This green conservation investment goes across using environmentally friendly green approach, like using sustainable sites, targeting indoor air quality, and improved ventilation. The result is a better learning environment while at the same time producing more savings. We talk about savings a lot, but really the first time and the first thought always is how will it increase or improve the learning environment? And that's big for us because it's not only about the teacher in front of the student, it's also about the lighting and the air and the space that our students are asked to learn in, and also our staff, because we want to make sure that we're modeling learning. We have leveraged our dollars and used our savings to further invest in our infrastructure. Currently, our work includes the following. It's about $3 million in facility upgrade projects, HVAC, controls, and building automation. There's about $4.5 million in one-year maintenance projects, our natatorium, doors, windows, pavilions, and roofs. There's about $1.5 million in athletic projects, the stadium, some work on the stadium, not all the work on the stadium, the track and field, and some tennis upgrades. And there's about $4 million in hail damage projects, which means chillers, roofs, and landscaping. As you see, the red slice is one year of the new 5-year equipment replacement system that we have now implemented. This will ensure more efficient long-term planning and better use of this year's dollar. The result is a $30 million investment in our community. Based on a multiplier, government indicating multiplier of 1.66, that's the other part of it that we want to share. This investment creates nearly $50 million of a financial impact into the local economy. So that's some of the ways that we try to work with y'all, showing that not only, yes, we ask sometimes, but we work as hard as we can to show how we're giving back and being a partner not only to our staff, but also to the city and the county in general. We also have a grant called Ready and Emergency Management for schools to consolidate all our crisis resources and to result in a better system. This plan includes improvements to our facilities to increase campus security and building access, as we all have the preparations for hurricanes, as well as the preparations for hurricanes and natural disasters. So we've always, there was an incident that happened, yes, we all know about it, but we want everybody else to know that that's always the forefront. As a principal, also, usually a big mentality is we're never beyond thinking that something can happen during the school day. We're always prepared, and sometimes as public, you might think we're a little paranoid by some of the restricted access, but it's because we know what we're entrusted with. But we want to work with you to make sure that we do have that balance, because we also need our students to see that there is that balance, that they're in a safe and welcoming environment. But behind the scenes, we know we're working really hard to make sure that it's even as safe as we can possibly make it. Also, by bringing in our truancy and mental health programs, advocacy efforts under our school and police department, we have changed our approach to attendance and behavioral issues from reactive to proactive. Now our focus is on families and addressing the issues that interfere with schooling. This approach has also captured the attention of school educators from across the country. And that was kind of a big shift for us, making sure we started talking more about families than students. Because usually if you trace the student issues down, there's something there in the family that's preventing them from doing what they want to do. Because it's very rare that you found a student who really doesn't want to go to school without some other kind of issues that's preventing them. And we're really working really hard to make sure that we get to the root of the cause of not wanting to be successful. Another critical area of managing the budget is personnel management. In the summer of 2009, we had new staffing guidelines approved by the board. A staffing audit was commissioned, and a compensation plan review was conducted by TASB. This is essential for personnel management and to remain competitive and keep payroll expenditures close to the 80% of the general fund as possible, while still offering competitive salaries. Incidentally, the district's administrative 2010-11 cost ratio is 5.87. That's about half the 11.05% allowed by the state. Our expectation is that all personnel are highly qualified and all employees are compensated fairly. The interview process has been improved to ensure only highly qualified staff is considered for vacant positions. Procedures have been established to monitor the frequency of our staff development and minimize interruptions of instructional time. Our teachers have a specific class period dedicated to training and to analyzing our student data. That's in addition to the class period that is required by the state. We are working to streamline operations further so that more training happens every day within the workday. There's also a cost savings because that means the less use of substitutes. And that's huge because a lot of times we don't realize that also that investment in our teachers, that second conference period, is an investment in learning. And it's an investment in learning for our adult staff because we really, really believe in our adult staff. As part of our restructuring, the head of business operations now oversees purchasing, information systems, business office, the human resources, and employee benefits department. This facilitates two-way communication between the accounting side of the house and the staffing side. It's critical since more than 80% of our budget is tied to payroll and related benefits. We also implemented a new financial management software, including conversion of the payroll and human resource departments. Policies and procedures are in place to ensure all district operations, including instructional services, technology, and student services, our facilities, maintenance, and operations, and transportations meet or exceed the district initiatives. Transportation program revisions have also saved thousands. We eliminated busing of students to non-zone campuses and reduced the number of routes. A bus replacement program provides our children with safe, more efficient buses and has led to the use of automated bus routing software for tracking all routes and riderships. Aside from all that, the board also undertook a complete revision and updating of the entire realm of policies by which are govern our operations. We have worked to keep our employees and our community informed. You might recall the board hosted a series of town hall meetings over the past 2 years, and we did the same with staff. Also, McAllen ISD served as host for a forum of area superintendents and local legislators. Our local legislators support us and have been a voice for education at the state level. In this age of downsizing, cutbacks, and mandates to increase student achievement, number crunching and fiscal management are at a greater premium than ever. Through our initiatives, all resources, including time and finances, are brought to bear to ultimately increase student successes. Please take a moment to read the educational programs provided by our Instructional Services Division. Students can earn as many as 60 college credit hours, professional licenses, certifications, or even an associate's degree. Also, please note there are many academic successes, but I'd especially like for you to note on this one. Our students passed 555 advanced placement college level tests. That qualified our students for up to 2,185 college credit hours. That amounts to a savings of $1.9 million in college tuition and other costs for their families. This came through a grant the district received to increase student success with advanced placement. To reward the students for their work, the grant also gave 172 of our students incentive checks totaling $19,800. Also, you can read more in the booklet that we have provided, including the fact that our district has been named to the League of Innovative Schools, that's one of 26 in the country, and to the Texas High Performance Schools Consortium, that's one of 23 in the state of Texas. And it is this entire big picture and this event this whole culmination of talking about student achievement, and everything that we do revolves around, every penny we save is back into an investment into our students and into their learning environment. But this cannot happen without leadership. And that's part of the reason we're here today, too, to show and to honor the leadership at the board level. The Texas Education Code states an independent school district is governed by a board of trustees who, as a body corporate, shall oversee the management of the district and to ensure the superintendent implements and monitors plans, procedures, programs, and systems to achieve appropriately, clearly defined, and desired goals. We all know that's just scratching the surface. We know that highly functioning boards have some distinct characteristics. Let me share a few that exemplify this board. They have a focus, a laser-like focus on student achievement and the expectation that all students will be prepared for a college or career. Informed. They're informed about the issues that impact academics, finances, assessment, and the operations of our district. They are dedicated. The countless hours spent, many at their families' expense, of preparing, listening, analyzing, and most importantly, acting. They're passionate. They're passionate about the children, their families, and the resources that foster a safe and welcoming 21st century learning environment. And most of all, and this is what usually escapes, but this is what usually defines. It escapes a lot of people and a lot of leadership. But this is what I think defines us even more. The courage. The courage to make the right decision versus the popular decision, to take a stand for local control, to be a leading voice in school finance litigation, and to champion an initiative that, in spite of the critics, has become recognized at the local, state, and national level as a bold move that levels the playing field for all students in a highly technical, competitive world. I say this, when I was young, and people still say, you're still young, but I don't feel as young as I used to. It's all relative. When I was young, I used to say I was lucky. I really did. And then as I was older, I say, oh, I'm really, really fortunate. But now I know that I am truly blessed. I'm blessed for a lot of reasons, but I'm also blessed that I am able to serve the students of McAllen ISD alongside these dedicated, caring, and courageous individuals. Individuals who collectively make up a team that is taking bold steps to meet the challenges that confront public education at the local, state, and national level. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present to you the McAllen ISD Board of Trustees. And now I'd like to introduce a dignitary from the State Office of the Texas Association of School Administrators to explain what these accomplishments have led to. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Susan Marchman, Director of Communications and Media Relations.
Thank you so much for having me here this morning. I'm really pleased to be here, joined by city officials, county officials, and other dignitaries, as well as the McAllen community, to recognize the outstanding service of the McAllen ISD Board of Trustees. The show of support in this room really speaks volumes to the work that this board has done. It just really pleased me to see the number of people that would come here today to honor this board for the work that they've done and the involvement they've had in this community. With that said, I'll explain how they have come to this point. Each year, the Texas Association of School Administrators recognizes the exemplary service of local boards of trustees to their communities and the children they serve through our School Board Awards program. Established in 1971, the award highlights the work of school boards that demonstrate dedication to its mission and a commitment to quality programs that enhance learning opportunities for all students. Criteria to be considered for the Outstanding School Board Award include the board's policy-making function, its support for programs that serve the educational needs of all students, financial support, community involvement, and their own development as board members working harmoniously for the benefit of the community. The McAllen Board was named a Regional Board of the Year for 2011-12 in July and a State Honor Board, making it one of the 5 finalists in the state. The big announcement came September 29th at the TASA-TASB annual convention in Austin, where we recognized 5 school boards from across the state of Texas as Texas Honor School Boards. Following extensive interviews with each of these boards and their superintendent, our selection committee chose the McAllen ISD Board as the outstanding school board in the state of Texas for 2012.
Now it gives me great pleasure to announce that the 2012 Texas Outstanding School Board is McAllen ISD.
The selection committee was especially impressed that the McAllen ISD board and Superintendent James Ponce exemplify the team of 8 concept. The committee was also moved by the board's commitment to students and its resolve to make the right decisions, even when they are difficult and challenging. McAllen trustees demonstrated conviction and formulated a plan to improve student achievement. With unity and purpose, the board made a commitment to the bold TLC3 initiative. Karen Garza, who is chair of the selection committee, said of the board, McAllen ISD board members are unified in their commitment to put students first, and they are an excellent model of board effectiveness. They've approved innovative initiatives that have had a positive impact on the district, and they are fearless in their pursuit for excellence for the students of McAllen ISD. The selection committee noted that the board's ability to make tough decisions in light of the state's budget cuts while simultaneously striving for academic improvement is a premier example of excellence. The future of education depends on the willingness of school boards to serve their constituents well, but also act as community leaders and community builders. It is important for the board and superintendent to set the direction of the district, to be responsive to the community, and to build capacity across the district to create engaging work for students. We believe the McAllen School Board exceeds these standards and is extremely deserving of this award. The McAllen community should be proud of your leadership, as this board sets the example for school boards across this great state. On behalf of the Texas Association of School Administrators and our Executive Director, Johnny Vaselka, we offer our utmost congratulations to the McAllen ISD Board of Trustees on being named the 2012 Outstanding School Board of the Year. And at this time, we'll present them with their awards. First, President Hilda Garza de Chazo. Dance up here. Board Member Joseph Caparuso, not here. Board Member Javier Farias. Board Member Sam Saldivar Jr. Board Member Daniel Vela. And Superintendent James Ponce. At this time, I'd like to ask Board President to come say a few words.
Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you very much. On behalf of the entire Board of Trustees, I'd like to just say thank you to all of our staff. At the when we were awarded this in Austin, I wanted to make sure that everyone understood that this award was made possible because of our staff and our students at McAllen ISD. It is our staff and our students that make things easy for us. Decisions that are difficult are made easier because of all the preparation and all the work that they do. So on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I would like to dedicate this award to all of the children and all of the staff at McAllen ISD. Thank you so much. And on behalf of the entire school district, the entire city of McAllen, and the entire Region 1, thank you very much. Susan, thank you very much for this award.
At this time, I'd like to invite the mayor to come up and say a few words. Oh, okay, proclamation.
Senate Proclamation number 1309. The Senate of the State of Texas is pleased to recognize the McAllen Independent School District Board of Trustees, which has been named the 2012 Outstanding School Board by the Texas Association of School Administrations, and the school board was one of the 20 regional winners in Texas and was named one of the 5 state honor boards, an achievement that made it eligible for this year's top state school board honor. And the members of the McAllen School Board can constantly aim to providing area students with resources, programs, and opportunities that foster excellence in student performances. And the board earned the top state honor in part for its commitment to such educational improvement projects as the district's iPad project TLC Cube. The iPad initiative is viewed as progressive and is a bold step towards enhancing student success. And under the guidance with the support of the Board of Trustees, schools in McAllen Independent School District uphold high standards and are recognized as first-rate institutions that offer sound academic curriculums. Now, therefore, be it. Proclaim that the Senate of the State of Texas hereby commend the McAllen Independent School District Board of Trustees on its exceptional work on behalf of the district and the community, and extend congratulations to the board on earning the title of 2012 Outstanding School Board. And be it further that a copy of this proclamation be prepared for the school board as an expression of high regard from the Texas Senate.
At this time, we'd like to invite the mayor to come up and offer a few words.
Thank you, Suzanne. Good morning, everyone. Since this is an academic environment, I'm going to start with a test. Okay. What defines a community? Some people would think the buildings, the things that you see, but what always defines a community is the people that make up the community. Do you agree? Okay. And thank you. And the direction that a community goes or travels is an important thing to observe, because it's that direction that's going to determine the future of that community. And that trend can easily be followed by looking at our youth. They're the ones that are our future leaders. They're the ones that are going to dictate what our community is going to be. So when you consider about the tremendous responsibility that an educator has, and those that provide policy and assistance to those educators, it is a huge responsibility. Huge responsibility. Because those formative years and all the youth growing up is not only important what they see at home, but the environment that we create in our public schools. For me to sit here as mayor of McAllen, I'm deeply proud of this school board. Aren't you? They are becoming a shining example of yes, we can. And things aren't always easy as we debate what is right. See, everybody wants to do what's right. Everyone that I see says, Mayor, we just want you to do the right thing. The problem is I sometimes have a difficult time them explaining to me what the right thing is. But the aggregate wisdom of well-intended people is a pretty good start. So again, on behalf of myself, the City Commission, and all the citizens of McAllen, congratulations on an outstanding year. And looking at the caliber of the young people that I see around us here and were demonstrated today, I think the trend for McAllen is very good. Thank you.
Just so everyone else in the room understands, this is just a plaque from the Texas Association of School Administrators for this board and for Superintendent Ponce for their outstanding leadership this school year. And this can be hung in the district administration offices in the school district so everyone can see the leadership that you have moving forward.
Thank you so much. Just a few words of it's a big deal. You know, when we were standing up there, we were all like, oh, we were hoping not to cuss. I was anyway. I don't know about them, because you get to a point where you're in a championship game and you don't want to lose. You just don't want to lose, and you're supposed to smile if you lose, the gracious loser. But all up there in just that moment when you heard it, I thought you saw our reaction. But it's a big deal. There's over 1,000 school districts. And the work that this board has done is tremendous. And I, too, am very proud and just want to extend that to you all. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think that's going to be like the Stanley Cup. They get to keep it for a month and do whatever they want to do and all that stuff. Who's up next? Who's up next? Everybody?
McAllen ISD is recognized as a national leader in education. And we recognize that part of our role is to collect the stories that tell about our transformation.
It's a narrative that transcends all barriers and that we have only begun to discover.
1, 2, 3, 4. My teacher told me to download a new app that's called Screenshot. It'll give you a problem and then you'll get to figure it out, but you have to write it down, and at the same time you can record it and then you start understanding it. I like using the iPads more because now that I've been using it, I've been getting higher grades.
Hi, this is iCell, and it helps me in biology because all I have to do is click on a part of a cell and it tells me the information and helps me on testing.
They're getting excited about the textbook that they have online, that they can just click on a word and see a definition.
If you need something, you can just email the teacher, and then you could email that project back to yourself on Google Docs. And there's also applications like Pages and Keynote, and you can work on projects and presentations on there.
It'd be a lot harder for me to create my composition because the only tools I would have is the pianos here in the band hall. I can just be at home playing with the iPad, playing with the pianos in the iPad, and start writing things down as quick as I can.
I'm sure if you open any one of our backpacks, they're gonna be a mess with like papers everywhere, and like in my notes, like I have a physics folder, I have my history folder, I have my math folder, and they're just all my notes are just right there.
The app that I'm using is called Quick Office Pro HD. So I was working in this PowerPoint for government, and it was pretty hard because sometimes you can go, like, you don't have time to go to the library. Let's say you have this class after lunch and then you're like, oh my god, I have to finish something, and then you just take your iPad and use it.
This is Dossery. This is the app I use in school, and all I have to do is watch my teacher's presentation, record it, and it transfers into my iPad, and I can edit and add any things I want. I've been using it, and it's been helping me get way better grades.
So you can see they're very excited about using the iPads in the classroom. They can take it home, they can work on it there, they can use the internet. I can give them little QR codes for homework. It's not just about staying in the classroom, it's about making the world their classroom.
This is how you use the dictionary.com app. You go onto it and you look up a word. Here I have the word radiation, which I needed to use in my science class.
I use an app called Prowler, and it's a scholarship app where I go apply into scholarships that I need for college, and I hope to get a lot of money out of it because I really need it.
You know what'd be cool? What? Remember those pen pals that send us?
The ones from Spain?
Yeah. Well, we got that video from them. Maybe we should send them a video back.
That would be cool.
We could do it on iMovie. Yes. Oh my gosh.
I've known her since junior high 2 years ago, and I've never been able to communicate with her because I didn't understand her, she didn't understand me, I didn't know signs, so we really didn't have a way to communicate with each other.
Now I understand her. Finally, we were able to start a friendship, and I like to really meet new people, to get close to others, and association's really important. I think we always tend to be in the same group with deaf people, but now we can also associate with other hearing students.
One more big applause for our students today, please. Also, our Fine Arts Department, Mrs. Garnetta, also, and who helped organize, and all the other adult leaders or school members. Thank you so much for bringing the kids out. I'm always proud to showcase our students. And also, our display here is by our middle school students across the district, so also that's just the other part of our Fine Arts Department. Thank you, students, and thank you all so much for joining us this morning and for celebrating learning and the promise of tomorrow. As we know, there's a lot of things happening, a lot of moving parts. As we come into a time in education that it's moving very quickly. We had this conversation about if you started teaching 30 years ago, from your first year even to your 20th, that 10 years moved very slowly. From your 20th to your even 15, it's slowly. But these past 5 years, I promise you, just like you in all industry have seen just how quickly things move and how nimble we have to be. And that's our next challenge. How do you remain nimble? How do you remain effective? And how do you meet the needs of students who are coming to us so much very differently? But we're looking forward to that challenge. I can tell you, as an echo what the mayor says, when you look at our students who are ready for that challenge, the staff who is ready for that challenge, and most importantly, leadership who is up to that challenge also, we look forward to continuing serving the community, the families, and the students of McAllen ISD. Thank you again for attending, and thank you for your support.